Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of 𝐥𝐢𝐿 Talks.
And today we're going to be discussing dreams, purpose, worthiness, and how they're all interconnected. So stay tuned, and as always, subscribe and do all the things.
Yeah, grab yourself a coffee too. Chink. Hey everyone, welcome to 𝐥𝐢𝐿 Talks with myself, Hat, and my wonderful co-host, 𝐤𝐻𝐿.
Hi, thank you. In this podcast, we're going to be tackling different topics that have to do with life, success, failures, and everything in between. We're going to be talking about relationships, love, family, careers, etc., and all the challenges that we face in this life that we're living. So stay tuned, subscribe, and join the conversation.
Yeah, so sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode.
So episode 8, and we're back together, reunited, and it feels so good.
Is that an actual song?
Yeah. Hell, I think it's Lionel Richie. I'm not sure.
I don't actually know it.
Reunited, of course. It's a song from like the 80s. Okay, clearly my co-host has no idea about musical ballads from the 80s maybe.
Whatever.
Anyway, so it is June, past mid-June, and up.
It's almost the end of June.
We still have 10 days to go, chill. So anyway, the laws and the regulations for social distancing have shifted a lot in Qatar. So we can be back together, which is amazing because I miss you.
Miss you too.
I know you did. Anyway, and today we wanted to talk a little bit. We have been talking a lot about worthiness and how it comes into our lives, childhood woundings, and how that affects how we see ourselves, our self-esteem, blah, blah, blah. And now we're going to be, and last time.
So in episode 7, we talked about success.
Yes.
And productivity and burnout. And that kind of ties into today's episode, which is about dreams, purpose, obviously all tied in with worthiness.
Yeah.
And how do you achieve your dreams? How do you come about understanding your purpose in life?
Yeah.
That's like the biggest question is like, what is life? What is the purpose of life? All that kind of stuff. Right.
I'm sorry, my mind went to, what is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Okay, clearly we need to karaoke because I'm like, how is that? Small box, big box, no. Little fish, big fish.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Big fish, little. Oh, God, I always get that wrong. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box.
Okay,
Big fish,
so
fish,
going back, I think especially our generation, because our parents didn't think so much of purpose. They thought of career, making money, protecting the family. That was kind of like the thread that everyone had. Before that, it was more about survivalism, right? And now we come along and we start hearing you can do anything you want if you set your mind to it, reach for the stars. You might not get there, but you reach somewhere special.
Impossible blah, blah, blah. Is nothing. All
because
that kind of stuff.
I'm possible and all that. Yeah. So we start to get a lot of...
impossible is possible and things like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And we start to get a lot of that messaging early on it starts to come up a lot with the personal growth move, which started in the 70s and continued growing in the 80s and 90s. So we are the children that came out of that. And then we have this fear. A lot of us have this like weight on our shoulders of, okay, and what am I going to do? What is my purpose? How do I find my purpose? Maybe I went to school for something and later on discovered that it's not my purpose. And thinking about purpose is like this daunting thing for many of us, myself included. I mean, I wanted originally to be an actress and a director, and then I went to journalism school, and then I love TV and radio, and then it's all these changes. And I think that we are the first generation that actually goes through several careers in their lifetime, while most of our parents were like, you're an engineer, you were brought up an engineer, you study engineering, and then you die an engineer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't.
It was rarely...
I don't agree with that approach at all.
No, I don't agree either, but that's how they were raised, right? You stick to what you do because that's what you do. And what you do and who you are really intertwined. Was with us, the thing is, you shift careers, you maybe do a master's in something completely different, or you simply just say one day, I'm starting over completely fresh.
I mean,
which is, it can be daunting when you're constantly saying, but is this my purpose? But is that my purpose? And I see it with my clients. A lot of my clients, I work mostly with millennials. I actually work only with women, but mostly they are millennials.
You're working with me too.
Yeah, but that's different.
You're kind of indirectly working with me.
Well, I work with anyone that I talk to because I'm annoying like that. But a lot of my clients, when we get to the part of going from basic needs are covered, self-esteem needs are covered, like going upwards in Maslow's pyramid, and we start to get to self-actualization, they get super triggered. They're like, I cannot think of a dream. I cannot think, because we just don't want to fail. There's so much fear of failure. There's so much, there's so much at stake that then we never dream.
And that was what we discussed in the last, is what do you consider success? And we
Yes.
said that success is not necessarily you set yourself a target, and if you don't achieve that target, you failed. No, you can if you're content with your effort that you've made, you can still consider that success.
Yeah.
And so there's no harm in setting yourself, having a dream, and working towards that dream. In fact, I guess without having any dreams or without having any targets, then your life is kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
You need to have something. That can be anything. That can be having a family. That can be having a job of a certain sort. That can be achieving something from a sporting perspective. You need to have something as a human being.
Okay.
To be able to plan your life and move forward.
I mean, happiness requires an atmosphere of growth. That's one of the elements to be happy, is that you have to be in an atmosphere that pushes you to grow, because growth is something that helps us feel in that state of contentment and joy. My thing is this. I believe that the secret, and this is obviously take it or leave it, whatever. The issue with me, the formula is the dreams that we set or the purpose that we are aiming towards had to be aligned with a larger vision that we have for us in the context of the universe or the world, So there has to be a why that is going to help me find, shift even dreams or careers without losing my focus. So for example, for me, I discovered that my why, the thing that, and that's one of the things that I work with my clients is the why, the energy, the thing that it matters the most to me when I think about the legacy that I want to leave in the world, it's always women empowerment. And why, and this is super important, the why tends to be really related to our core wounding. So my core wounding was seeing my mom struggle when I was growing up and feeling powerless in a society that was not only super patriarchal, but had a lot of issues in terms of capitalism and stuff. So I felt powerless. And so there's a fire within me that says, I want to support women never to feel that way. And there's a process called 7 layers deep, which is basically you keep asking questions. You ask a person, so what is your ultimate vision?
Is this one of this but why? But why?
Exactly.
But why? But why? And
yes.
that's never ending. It's like when a kid asks you why.
No, but it's
why,
not.
Why?
But it's not like
annoying,
that. What you do is that you go. Okay, for example, you will ask me. Okay, so what is your biggest dream for your life? Okay, I want to have a company that provides retreats and books and
why?
Let me finish. For women and families.
Why?
And you say why? Okay, because I believe that women can transform the world because they are the nourishers, the gifters.
We're gonna test this out. But why?
And then because I feel that when a mother has enough tools, she mothers her children different, so the children become different people that can change the world.
But why?
And then you have to say, why is this important to you?
It's
not
okay.
but
It's
why.
Not just why. Okay.
You say, why is this important to you?
You need to guide them.
Why is
okay,
yeah, exactly.
But why
and
is
why
this
is that
important?
relevant to the
Why
world?
is that important
So
to you?
basically what you're saying is so let's say if you say, okay, well, why is this important to you? And I said, well, because as a child, I felt really fragile and vulnerable, and that really messed up with me. And I always felt that I didn't have safety no matter where I was. And so you say, okay, so why is for you children to be safe relevant? And so I will go and say, well, because I think that a lot of the toxicity that we see in the world comes from these childhood woundings that are being done to children from an unsafe environment. And then you ask me, why is this relevant? And then eventually when you get to the core is always a pain that I have. And when I see that...
Which is rooted in your childhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, or something that that didn't resonate with you or didn't click with you as a child.
Exactly.
And therefore you're trying to be the difference for other people so they don't have to go through the same thing.
Yeah. That's why most coaches, most therapists, most educators, most healers have wounds. We want to save the world for the wounds that we experience. We just want to give others what we never got.
And that 100% resonates with why I coach, because you know, it's like it's amazing. I mean, it's true. I got brought up, it was a very strange upbringing. I didn't know anything different, but it didn't click with me. And you know, through my experiences coaching, becoming a people's person, managing people, all that kind of stuff, I started realizing that you know, and through feedback from others where they'd say, okay, you're actually quite good, you've got a talent for this. And then you start seeing, okay, hold on a second, I'm actually influencing people, I'm making a difference in their lives, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I said to you, again, in the last thing, is that I may not have, my dream is to coach in the Olympics one day. I may not be there, I may not be close to there currently
yet,
but so far, have I considered my career a success? I'd say yes, because I've managed to do things and influence people in a way that I want to,
meaningful ways,
in meaningful way, and which drives me now, you know,
yeah,
as a result of my upbringing and maybe not having that kind of support.
Yes.
You know that.
So whenever I talk about dreams with my clients, whenever we start discussing, okay, so where do you, and this is also very important. I see a lot of our generation not even thinking there, like stay into the now, which is lovely, be present and all that. But we need to know what we're doing, the things that we're doing at the long run. I think that it's very important that we start to see a larger picture, because when you do that, what you can do is that you can adjust, especially when we're talking about things like saving money, creating a legacy, changing the world. I believe that all of us have a role in that.
Yeah.
Side note. So when we talk about dreams, a lot of the times they're like, oh, I have never thought of that. And then we start talking about things that matter to them. And that's how I do it. I said, okay, so tell me 10 things that are important to you and why are they important to you? From these 10 things, what are you start to see a pattern. So in these patterns, why? Like, what is behind this? And then you start to craft it. And sometimes, and this is where worthiness comes in, if you were told as a child that you're silly, that doesn't make any sense, you have to grow up, you have to mature, come on, who's gonna do that? Not everybody can be happy, not everyone has a lot, you know, all the negative, I don't want to say negative, but the limiting beliefs that we get a lot in media, sometimes from parents, sometimes from culture, whatever. As grown-ups, the capacity to dream is like cut. It doesn't mean that it's dead. It's like if I put a band here, my finger begins to get white, but it's still attached to my hand. I can still just take the band off. So this work, what it does is that it takes the band off so that the blood flow goes back to my finger and my finger moves. Yeah. It's precisely saying, what will happen if I am whimsical again? What will happen if I play and I say, okay, and I always use this, like my kids always laugh because I say, in an ideal world, what would you do? In an ideal world. And this ability to foster dreams not only connects us to another side of our brain and allow us to be creative, but also brings some playfulness to our day, which is also very important. And it starts to tell you and your body, I trust you to do more. And you have to remember this. This is research shows that neurological research shows that the brain can only imagine things that you can achieve. You might not achieve them, but it only dreams that you can actually accomplish, because the brain wants to prove you right. So I'm not gonna say, oh, my dream is to fly, just like jump out of my house and fly. That's not a dream. That's a dead sentence, right? But if I say, okay, so my biggest dream, the biggest one that I have is that I have this car and I have a company and we have like 150 employees and I have two retreat places all over like in these places in the world, and I run retreats and I have enough money to feel comfortable and to support my family. Yeah, I can dream that. It's because my brain knows, yeah, that's doable. You can accomplish that. You know? Now, if you ask me, do you dream that you are part of the royalty, the monarchy in the UK? No, like I cannot even go there. So
it's not a realistic.
No, and my brain rejects it because it sounds like.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could position yourself to bump into Prince Harry one day somewhere in London.
Clearly not.
And be like, hey, whatever. But I mean, before he got married.
Okay, so.
But that's pretty messed up.
So basically, what I'm saying is.
But it's not impossible.
when we do the work of worthiness, when we do this work of feeling yourself worthy unconditionally, right now as I am, with all my flaws, with all my brokenness, with all my imperfections, with everything that I hold, and I say, okay, so I am imperfect, yet I'm worthy. Where would I like to take my life? What can I do for the world? And then you start to just dream. You start to work with your imagination. It is not only a beautiful exercise that allows your brain to know that you can be trusted to carry through, but also it starts to show you that your capabilities might be more than you think of.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I had as well is you have a dream as a child growing up, but you also have your parents who or your surroundings who are there to protect you from doing anything crazy, like jumping off a building, for example.
Which I would never
making
do.
making you see sense, but at the same time, I think they also have an obligation to help you. Nourish that dream that you have. And I'll give you an example.
Yes.
Why. I'll tell you why. I was the only, I'd say, from my family that I know of, I was the only person who was dead serious into sports. And I was always like, my main thing was playing football. And I really wanted to I wanted to reach the highest point in football and play for the national team, right? And I knew I had the desire. I knew I had the work ethic. I knew I had the talent. Okay, I wasn't the most talented, but you don't need to be the most talented. You need to have certain other elements to allow you. But I always had my family pushing me back, saying, I always used to get these things like, what do you mean football? Concentrate on your education. Okay, what do you mean football? Nobody's going to want to marry a football player. Nobody's going to want to marry a coach, a sports coach. Nobody takes this kind of stuff seriously in our culture. And I'm just like, hold on a second. Why are you guys raining on my parade? Why are you guys pushing me down? I'm good at this. People are saying I'm good at this. People are asking me to be part of these programs. People are pushing me forward. And yet I have the closest, nearest and dearest to me telling me, don't waste your time. Don't be silly.
And
I don't support this.
And that affects how you see yourself. So even when you say, I will do this because I want, there's a part of you that says, they're right. You're wrong. And so you start to believe
puts you
that.
down. It puts you down, and it limits you. It starts limiting you.
But this is why it's so important that we understand. And this is not just for parents. This is also for partners in romantic relationships, because sometimes it is your partner the one that says that just makes no sense. Like what you're proposing makes no sense. Like what the fuck would you do that, right? Always what they're saying about your dream is 100% about them and their beliefs and nothing about you. So whenever you say to someone, this is my dream and I think I can make it, and the person says, these are the reasons why you are never going to make it, that is a mirror to them. That has nothing to do with you. And when it comes to parenting, especially because of the background of your parents, ethnically, culturally, and all their good heart, yet limitations, that meant that for them, they were trying to protect you. And in that process, they wound you, which is one of the things I always say to, clients and friends. Parents do their very best and they still fuck it up. Still. So like I had the opposite. My dad was a dreamer. He was like forever a dreamer. Bless him, until the day he died. In fact, he died at 60 and he was getting his third degree. Like he was going to college to become an industrial engineer at 60, like this is how much of a dreamer he was. He had like all these ideas and stuff. His issue was always following through because mental health issues. My mom was not a dreamer. Still now she struggles dreaming because her upbringing was like super, you have to be practical, you have to be logical, blah, blah, blah. But with me, she actually helped me. So I will tell her, Mom, I want, I'm gonna be the first Venezuelan woman to win an Academy Award as a director and actress. She was like, what color is the dress that you're gonna wear? Like, never did she say, really? Never. She would be like, okay, and what color is it gonna be? And I would be like, my dress is gonna be like dark red. And she's like, great. And my, are you gonna take me, right? And I'm like, of course I'm gonna take. Like,
she allows the dream
to expand, and she will be
and you come to your own realization about your limitations and your capabilities, and it's up to you to live that dream,
and
right?
also, she never said I could never reach it. She was like, you will reach it. And I'm this is gonna be very cocky, but I honestly believe that with all the connections that I had, because all of this is a lot of connections too. Back in Venezuela, with all the connections that I had and everything I was doing, I could have got there. It's just the thing that I left Venezuela. I shift careers completely. And I let that dream go. But even now, when I tell her, Mommy, I feel like can turn into that. She's like, of course it can turn into that. You are amazing. So this is really important for us to do, not only to our children, but also to our friends, to our partners, to our parents, to tell them, if your brain can imagine it, you can achieve it, but you need to put on the hard work. Like
everything you can imagine,
you can achieve.
Is real.
It could be real.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
if you put enough work.
I can imagine a plane with like one wing and like half an engine, but
please
it doesn't mean it's
don't go into Hats Airlines, please.
No, no, but I mean, within reason. But the point is, if you can imagine doing something,
achieving something,
and it's possible, it's real. All you have to do is apply yourself, and believe in that wholeheartedly, and give it the focus and respect and attention that it needs.
Oh my God, yes.
And you can get there. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from getting there. A lot of people fall short when it comes to consistency, work ethic, respecting the
dream.
Respecting the dream. And people be like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to become this one day, and they don't make an effort.
But why do you think that they do that?
Probably because they've been told that it's an impossible task.
Which is what?
It's a wound. Which is what?
Unworthiness. Because I don't feel worthy of themselves. I don't feel worthy of the dream. And this is something that I've been talking a lot these days with some of my friends, because with all this COVID, a lot of people have thought of how to shift their careers, because their careers have, like my career was, I hit you, sorry. My career has gone everywhere, right? And a lot of people were saying about your dreams and your goals, because dreams and goals, dreams sound more ethereal, but a dream with a deadline is a goal, right? But a lot of people have been asking me, how do you handle this with this new world, and will my career be here, and blah, 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 blah. And I always say the same thing. When you anchor yourself in unconditional worthiness, and when you say, I am worthy of love, connection, hard work, respect, effort, then your dream is the same, because your dream is part of you. So my dream is worthy of love, connection, hard work, respect, attention. So this is why we tend to abandon our dreams. We don't abandon our dreams because we're lazy, or because, like, I hear a lot of people say, I used to have this dream, or I started this business, but then I realized that, I'm just lazy, or I'm just not focused, or I'm just like, I hate it when people say, I'm just a little bit ADHD. I'm like, no.
What do you mean ADHD?
People say, I just have attention deficit. I just cannot focus.
Can't focus.
Yeah. That's bullshit. What you have, it's a wound, a mindset thing that is not helping you get there. Yeah. So you have a dream and you're passionate enough to write it down, then say, okay, what do I need to do? And what are my limitations here? Because it is 100% of a mindset. Money, abundance, prosperity, business, dreams, vision, all comes back to, do I feel worthy of the hard work? A lot of the times why people don't do the hard work is because they feel unworthy of it. People, to be happy, that's a fucking hard work. You need to put on hours. You need to do journaling. You have to go to therapy. You have to go inwards.
You have to invest in yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. But if I feel unworthy, if I feel that I'm only worthy why would I invest in myself?
Yeah, but also you have to have that support structure around you to be able to allow you to do it, I think.
I don't think so.
No, I'll tell you why. No, because if you're in a relationship that is not supportive, right?
You're gonna break the relationship.
Well, because that's the thing. So,
exactly.
But I'm saying that there are environmental things that will give you that ability.
Yes, to support you. Yeah, but happiness is an inside work. It's completely an inside job.
No, I agree.
For me to be happy, for me to actually self-actualize, get to that point in the Maslow's pyramid at the top where I'm self-actualizing and transcending, it's not about my partner filling me up. It's about me doing the work so that, first of all, I'm not with a shitty partner. Because guess what? When you feel unconditionally worthy, you don't lower your fucking bar for love.
Everything. Yeah, you can achieve anything.
And I'm not going to sit with a person that is an asshole when I feel myself worthy. if I see myself worthy of abundant and beautiful love, connection, respect, hard work, etc., my partner is going to reflect that. All my relationships should reflect that.
Okay.
If I'm surrounded with people that are leechers and parasites and are just like destroying my dream, I'm going to be like, peace out. I'm not going to put my energy here because it's not in alignment with me.
Yeah,
Remember, how you do one thing, you do all things. So if you
and
are...
they always and that also comes back to you are the what do they? I don't know if you agree with this, but
the creator of your universe.
No, God is the creator of the universe. But anyway, no. Oh, your universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the universe.
Your universe.
Yeah, it's like the Milky Way isn't made by a chocolate company. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is you are the result of the 5 people, the 5 friends, the 5 close people around you, right?
Yes.
Like kind of like that, right?
Exactly.
So if they're all bad, you're likely to be like have bad traits from all the you pick
habits and of course
habits, yeah.
So you need to make sure that those relationships are the same as you. But this is the thing, how you do one thing, you do all things. So if I'm working on my dream and I'm working on growing and developing and healing and nourishing myself because I'm nourishing my dream, the people around me are gonna be loving and nourishing and otherwise I'm gonna be like how many friendships have I caught on my journey.
And on my journey to get to this Olympic thing, I've realized that in order to be able to achieve it, I need to place myself in an environment that nourishes these kind of dreams.
Exactly.
And so one day, I don't know when, I'm planning to sort of move to the Olympic city, Switzerland. I'm going to try and align myself with the International Olympic Committee, just to put myself in that environment around people who are interested in the Olympics. They actually they thrive and they push each other to be part of that sort of, I wouldn't say clique, whatever you want to call it, like that circle. But it's those having that like-mindedness around you will help you, push you, or to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Inspire you too. Exactly. Like I have to say, for me, one of the way, like I always joke that I'm held together by duct tape and all my friendships. Like I have so many unreal people in my life that nourish who I am. We were talking earlier about partnerships, right? Like when you're in a romantic partnership and who is a person that you would like to be with. Obviously, as much as attractiveness is important, you want to be with someone who resonates with you in these core things. Because if you are a dreamer and you are with a pessimist, you're going to struggle. If you are an optimistic, or let's say a dreamer, and you are with someone who has really small dreams, you're going to struggle. Like I see that a lot in some of my clients sometimes, that when they start working with me and we start to explore further, they either bring their partners along, or like not bring them, but kind of inspire their partners towards growth, or the relationship begins to shift and shake. Many of my clients that are in committed relationships, that are married and stuff, it's super interesting because I see that one starts working with me and then the other one reaches out to work with someone else.
No, and I don't want us to go into another totally different topic, but let's say you both have dreams, or let's say one of you has dreams and the other one doesn't have like as big a dream as you,
which is also allowed.
But then again, friction starts to happen, whereby in order for that person to achieve their dreams, they need to start country hopping, they need to start doing this, and that other person doesn't want to country hop, and so they don't want to be the one that's following that person, which starts to be a problem. It starts to be a problem,
Yes.
And it's having that person that understands. And
I need to say something.
I mean, I don't want it to come across negatively, but
I also think is sometimes you need to grow up, get your big person's pants on and say, love is not enough, because it's not. And relationships are not all forever and ever and ever. So if you say, let's say that you and I are in a partnership, right? And everything was great. We have been together for a while. We click in many ways, and then you grow and you change, and I grow and I change, and we're growing and changing together, and it's also amazing. And then you say, I want to move to Switzerland because I see a potential here. These are the steps. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to live in Switzerland. I want to live in Kuala Lumpur. And then we will have to sit and have a conversation. And the conversation might be, we love each other and we're ready to depart from this relationship because we're not longer in the same boat.
Or okay, fine, I value this relationship and I'm willing to take a little step back for you, or
exactly.
vice versa.
But
it shouldn't be I'm taking this step back
and then you better take
and I'm going to remind you
like,
about it, like I did this for you.
Exactly.
I mean, that's
bullshit.
That's
what happens a lot.
That's pretty much what happened to me.
Yeah.
And why I was like, you're holding me ransom to something.
Oh, that's such a good word. That's such a good, yeah.
You're holding me ransom to something.
To me,
was absolute bullshit,
to me has been different because obviously I'm the primary caregiver. However, the reason why we came back to Doha, my ex-husband and I came back to Doha with our kids, was because here he could have a better job that could pay good, so that I could.
Yeah, but you understood that, and
no. But it's the opposite. So basically, the idea of us coming back here was that I didn't need to work, and so I could be with the kids, which is what I wanted, and develop my career. So
but it made sense for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not my career the one taking a big step; it's his career. And there's sometimes that. But also, you have to know where you are on your stage. Your stage in life with your partner, right? Because, for example, at 35, 40, 45, 50, you might be able to say, okay, so let me just take a step back and then I will forward, and then how can we make this work? Whilst maybe at 60, you're going to be like, okay, so we should have this amount of money. You
said something very important there. How can we make this work?
Exactly.
It requires both people to sit back and think, okay, I will take a step back for a little bit to allow that person to take a step forward. And then later on, I will take a step forward while that person takes a little step back. And it's teamwork.
Yeah.
It's not about
It's
not about, okay, my career is going down the drain because of you and you and if it wasn't for you, then my life wouldn't be like this. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
That's manipulation.
You guys shouldn't be in a bloody relationship if you're having like that.
When it comes to goals and dreams and purpose,
understanding is very important, and respect.
I think that when it comes to goals and dream and purpose, it's very easy to do it when it's only you. If you are in a relationship, what you need to do is to be able to talk about that. And I'm going back to what we talked in the last live. In a relationship, there should be enough safety for you to have these big conversations without you feeling triggered and that you're going to lose love. If you feel like you bringing up your dreams or your purpose or your career or whatever it is puts your relationship in jeopardy. Yeah. That's it. Jeopardy. Then that relationship needs looking, because that shouldn't be the case. In all relationships, we should be able to say, hey, I've been feeling this way. I'm struggling with this, knowing that our partners can hold us. Like when we were talking about farting and all that, it's the same. I'm sorry, I have to bring it up, but it's true. If you cannot discuss little things, natural things with your partner, like poop, like farting, like burping, like sex talk, like dream talk, like money talk, without feeling tension that you're going to lose them, that relationship is not safe. And then maybe you should just exit. Having said that, going back to dreams, the key in this process of finding your purpose, working towards it, mapping it out, just saying, where the hell do I want to be in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? When I die, what is the legacy that I want to leave in this planet? It's key that you see yourself worthy of the time, the effort, the ethics, the respect, so that then you expand that to your dream and then you protect it. Like, I have a very clear dream and a very clear why, and it hasn't changed much. Having kids have made it more rich, because now I'm not only thinking about what I want for me, but also the legacy that I want to leave for them, both in money, but also in ethics and purpose, like the kind of people that I want them to become as they grow up. And it might change in shape, but the energy is aligned. And to me, the energy is so aligned when it clicks, that the charities that you start to choose are aligned with that. Like, all the charities that I always choose are educational, especially for women. Always. That's the thing that is the most important. Not because I don't have half of my family died of cancer, not because I don't think that the rainforest needs to be supported, but because women empowerment is so important to me.
You're passionate about it.
So take a moment and imagine, if I see myself as unconditionally worthy, if I see myself as someone who is who deserves to be invested in, what would I dream of for my life, for my legacy, for my future, for my career, for my love life, for everything? Yeah. And that is going to help you start to shine a light on where is it that you want to go.
I had a call with my dad yesterday, and I was explaining to him my current situation with work, and the amount of work that we had and all that kind of stuff. And he basically said to me, I mean, he does say some good things to me sometimes, and he says to me, he says, you were always a challenger. And he brought me back to an incident where I was doing my A-levels. Some people understand what A-levels are. So
UK 'rearness high school shit.
Yeah, it was AS level, so it's year 12. I'm doing my maths and my physics and whatever exams I was doing in order to do engineering. And it was a new school, new environment. I was getting to know new people. I kind of neglected my studies, and I failed my maths. I failed it. I actually flopped it. I got like 35%, whatever it was. I wasn't focused on it. I was focusing on other stuff. And then my dad said to me, look, take a year out and redo the year. And I was like, over my dead body, am I going to be entering university 1 year behind my friends? I have to enter at the same time. And I set myself a challenge to do all my year 12 exams and all my year 13 exams in 1 year, right? And I was studying day and night. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be 1 year behind my friends. And I set myself a target, and then I smashed my maths exams, and I got A's, right? So I focused on it. I set my heart on it, and I achieved it. And I worked hard for it. And I am now in the engineering world, and I'm managing 3 stadiums on the World Cup and all that kind of stuff. As a result of that failure, I could have just given up and be like, you know what, screw this. It's no point in trying. And what's the point? I might as well just redo the year, and who knows where my life would have gone. I maybe would have taken another year out and not challenged myself, and then not got the A's. I maybe would have got C's.
And I have to say, I know you enough to know that those challenges you thrive on them.
I thrive on challenges.
You thrive on a fucking clock on the wall. Like you do. Because like even when you started training for the triathlon, it was like, I have this amount of months. I will do it. And some people work really well with that. Yeah. I tend to, depends. Like to me, I used to be like that, but now I burn out really easily because obviously I am not just working.
But you need to adapt to your environment. Like we said, health and fitness means different things to different people.
Yes, at different stages. Yes, exactly.
At stages of their life.
So I
think we should wrap it up.
But
dreams and purpose. And when you have a dream, I reckon the dream will translate into a purpose, because you will be focused on something that you want to achieve. It might be within a week, it might be within a year, it might be within 10 years, it might be a long-term achievement, like I want to retire early at the age of 50. And all of that and then obviously live by the beach and, just live in flip-flops and shorts. And I actually have that dream is to be coaching swimming at the age of 45 full-time. Yeah.
I believe you,
and I'm gonna get there, inshallah.
I think that I do believe that inshallah you will get there. I think it's also really important to remember that you might miss the deadline, but you don't miss the dream or the goal until you quit. So goals are a little bit like a real estate. You never lose money on real estate unless you sell at the wrong time. The same thing happened with dreams. I might set a deadline that is unrealistic, but my dream, my goal is not unrealistic.
And that's still...
I just adjust. Exactly. You adjust it.
And that's where purpose comes in, because you'll always still have purpose in life.
Exactly.
And you still have that thing that you're working
for
towards.
example, I can say, okay, so I'm 30, I'm 34, I'm going to be 35 in a couple of months. I could say, okay, by the time I'm 40, I want to own 4 properties worldwide that are going to be retreat centers. I want to have 150 employees. I want to have 1 book published per year, something, whatever. And I get to 40 and maybe I'm not there. Maybe I have only 1 property. Instead of saying, I knew it, I'm a failure. Well, is to say, okay, I didn't get there. There were a lot of things happening around me. What if I just shifted to 45 or 50? And knowing that through the failure, through the adjustment, I am still unconditionally
worthy.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure as usual. And this is episode 8. We're nearing episode 10. And then we're going to have to sort of see where this is going. But if you think these have been cool, nice, maybe you have some ideas of how we can maybe develop it, we'd be grateful to hear from you.
Podcast
and I will have a haircut, I promise. It's just...
So all comments, ideas, requests, if you want to be interviewed, if you know someone that you would like us to interview, bring them on to podcast at the selfworthcoach.online. And then, as always, subscribe, like, share, and do all the magical things so that we continue doing these.
And if you don't give us ideas, we'll be coming for you. We'll be circling out and reaching out to you and saying, let's have a chat.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a little bit scary and creepy. Very.
I know where you are. I will find you and I will interview
Tickle
you.
you?
No,
Okay.
interview you.
Okay. I thought something. Okay. Thank you
And
so
on
much.
that bombshell. Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.